Hello and welcome to Master Gardening. I'm your host, Bud Qualk, and we've got a special show for you today. We're at the Kight Pecan Farm. Yeah, I said Pecan Farm. So stick around, we'll be right back. I'm here at the Pecan Building Store with the owners, Roby Kight and his darling bride, Martha. And this is where you come to buy your pecans. We're going to show you the barn a little later, and you see how everything's processed, but this is where they end up. So we're kind of starting on the back and moving forward, I guess you might say, Dan. You've got all these, you're loaded with pecans. About how many pecans do you harvest and sell each year? About 20,000 you said earlier, or not? 20,000 pounds? How much is that? How much is that? Would that fill up a semi-trailer truck load full, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably would, yeah.
Well, what kind have you got? Are they all the same?
No, we have several different varieties.
Okay, and they're all grafted?
They're all grafted trees.
Okay.
Paper shell pecans.
And your husband went around the world and found the best pecans he could find, but he says there's no such thing as a perfect pecan?
That's right.
Okay, now, since you got all the different kinds, you keep them all separate?
We do separate some of them, but this is our favorite, the Pawnee, because it shells out mostly in halves.
Okay, and it's prettier. You put on cakes and
Yes.
and desserts and things like that. But I don't care about these though, because I cut mine all up for the bourbon balls. So I want to get the cheapest one. They're all the same price?
They're all the same price.
Okay. But they mostly are. You can come in and ask for your special, and this one's special not only because it's pretty, but there's something about the taste on them is better than most pecans too?
Well, it shells out really good. The bitter bark does not cling to the kernel.
I've had pecans that were bitter.
Yeah, you have to make sure they're clean. So
Okay.
we shell them out and inspect them, and then we package them like this.
Okay, this is kind of an out-of-the-way location. What is the location here? You have a special, what's the address? How do people get to the pecan farm? It's outside Paducah.
Oh, it's right off of the new Highway 60.
Okay.
And you turn at the second red light from Tractor Supply and go left. And then you go through 2 stop signs and turn left again, and you come to our sign, and it comes right to our house where we sell our pecans.
If I go to MapQuest and Google Kight Pecan Farm, it'll probably tell me where this is too, get me directions.
9270 Old Hinkleville Road.
What's that again?
9270 Old Hinkleville Road.
Well, who buys your pecans? You sell them all to Walmart, or who gets your pecan?
Anybody that wants to come to the house, and local groceries.
Local groceries buy them too?
Yes.
Out here, out in this part of the country, or
Yes.
in Paducah, Lone Oak? No? Yeah? Okay. And how much are they a pound?
This is 1 pound for shell pecans. 1 pound is $10.
Shelled.
Shelled.
I see these bags over here that we're going to see a little later. How much are they?
That's 5 pound in shell for $16.
$16 for a big bag like that?
Sure is.
I think I like rather have them shelled up myself. Okay. Well, I think it's time to go see where we get these pecans. I know they just unloaded a big load out back.
Okay.
We didn't get to see them unload, but I heard that that's not the pretty part of the operation, so we're going to go to the barn and see how we get to this position. We got about 4 or 5 steps, I think, at least, to get there. Let's go check out the barn.
Gonna run a few down that cleaner.
Okay, Roby. We're sitting here by this is called the sanitizer, but let's back up just a minute. When you came in out of the field or the orchard, you dumped a bunch back here on the back. Now, the first thing it came into was, you said, a cleaner. What's the reasoning behind cleaning?
The
What are you doing?
cleaner is to separate the pecans, the good ones from the bad ones.
Takes the culls out of there.
Take all the culls out for whatever reason they have. And then they go into the...
Well, that's a lot of manpower over there doing
That's
that
true.
cleaning.
Takes 3 or 4 people.
Slow too, isn't it?
Yes, it's slow.
Okay, and then when it gets out of the cleaner, it goes to the storage?
Storage. And from storage, they go out to the sizer.
To the sorter?
Yeah,
Sorter? What? Why would you sort them? They're all got nuts in them, right?
Well, they're all good pecans, but they're different sizes, and people like various sizes for some reason.
Different varieties have different sizes?
Yes. In fact, the same variety will have 2 or 3 different sizes sometimes. And then from that, they go to the sanitizer, and then to the drying room.
Okay, the sanitizer. These are sanitizing tanks.
Yeah.
What's in them? What do you put in these?
That one has chlorine in it. This one has water.
Okay.
You douse them in chlorine for 2 minutes, then you put them in water.
Clean them off?
Clean them off. Clean the
Why in the
chlorine
world do you
off.
do that?
Well, because we have to.
It's a law, you have to do that?
Yes.
Well, what started all that? What made the government say you have to do that?
Well, certain people pastured the pecan orchards,
Put horses in their pecans?
horses and cattle.
So they got the manure and the nuts mixed together?
That's right. As a result of that,
What were they thinking?
I don't know. I didn't do it, so I don't know.
But you're paying the price for it.
That's true.
This is probably an expensive deal here. Manpower
Yes.
and all that chemicals and stuff.
It takes about twice as long to process the pecans as would the other.
It doubled the time.
Yeah, just about.
Gosh
Because
almighty.
You have to dry the water off of that you get in here. You know, they're wet, and then
That's why you have the dryers.
that's right.
Oh, so you wouldn't even have to have the dryers if it wasn't for this, would it?
Well, yeah, you would.
Would too?
Because they come out of the field up to 20% moisture, depending on the pecan and the
Okay.
varieties. So you have to get them down to about 4.5% percent moisture before you can process them,
Well, let's,
crack them.
when we get down here, we'll go in the dryer and you can show us how you do that in there.
Okay,
Is that okay?
that's okay.
Yeah, so we've got them cleaned and the culls removed.
Gone.
We've got them sorted by size,
That's
and we've got them sanitized. This is a pretty good process here.
Yeah,
And now we're going to dry them.
we dry them. yes.
Okay. Are you ready to go in the dryer?
Yes,
let's
I
go.
am.
Let's go take a look at it. We're here in this is a dryer room, right? So that we've sanitized. I got it. And then what do you do with the nuts after you sanitize them?
Put them up in the elevator and bring them to.
Do they go
the
through that
drying
bags,
vans.
those big bags?
Yeah, we put them in bags. They're in the bags when they get sanitized.
Oh, I see. The bags go right into the juice.
They go into whatever the solution. Yes.
Okay.
And then you bring the sacks over here and you dump them, and they come into this.
On the conveyor belt, they come over here into these bins.
Yes, they come out of these bins. You have to have at least 22 degrees slope for them to roll down those bins.
Are they still a little bit wet when they come down?
Yes, they're a little wet.
That's why they don't roll too good.
That's right.
Well, how come they call it the dryer room?
Well, because you got the fans back there and
Got fans blowing up underneath?
blowing air.
We don't have them turned on right now, but I can see that you got the wire mesh on the bottom there
That's
where the
true.
fans can blow
That's
up
true.
through.
And it's slanted so that the farthest end from the fan is it's deepest. You
Deepest
got-
amount of nuts?
Yeah, you got the same velocity of air throughout
Okay.
the pecans.
How do you know when they're dry enough?
You got
You got a gauge over there
you
to.
got gauges over there that you read
Yeah.
to know.
Next time we'll get that gauge over here and check it out.
I don't have it. It's so.
But you can you put them on. Put a nut in there and
Yeah.
it reads it and
Well,
tells you how much moisture's in there.
That's true. That's true. That's what I showed the ladies earlier, but that's the way they check them, and they got to be down below 4%.
4%. And what's the reason why they have to be dry? What's a
Well,
good?
so they keep. You can put them in these plastic containers if they had more moisture in them.
They mold up.
That's correct.
Oh my! I never thought about that.
Well,
I never bought moldy pecans. You Dan? No.
you know why now.
Well, I figured somebody along the line would screw something up,
Well.
like that salmonella deal, and and the government step in, and you have to have regulations on the dryness or something. Okay, well, after they're dried, this is really a big process. After you dry them, then where do they go?
Cracker?
They go to the cracker. Nutcracker sweet?
No, just a nutcracker.
Okay, let's go to the nutcracker next. Okay?
All right.
Okay, we're here. This is my favorite place right here. This is a nutcracker. You got 4 of them going here. Do you usually run all 4 of them at the same time sometimes, or just not?
Sometimes there are 5, but
Got 5. Oh, I get the one big one on the end down there.
yeah.
Okay, how does this thing work? Before you turn it on, how does it work? You pour the nuts in the top, in the bin, then what's it do?
They come down here and they fall into a chain, picks them up and drops them in here, always parallel. And then the plunger hits them,
The plunger comes in there and hits it,
and they come out crack.
one at a time?
One at a time.
One nut at a time. Holy cow, that's 20,000 pounds of nuts one at a time?
That's right. And
Well,
there's
turn it
about-
on, let's see it work. Okay, hey, pull the plug, Roby. Okay, it cracks them and takes about, looks like it takes a third to half of the shell off.
Yeah.
And then what do you do after that? What takes the rest of the shells out of there?
You take them to the cleaner, to the sheller,
To the sheller.
and it shells most of them off. You can shell it all off if you want, but
Yeah.
if you get too close, then it skins the nut.
You got to be real careful just to get barely enough.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you'd rather have a little shell as a lot of meat.
Those are delicious too, I'll tell you.
They're good, but it's
So they cut. You put them in this bucket here.
yeah.
Dan, can you get that? Can you see what they look like? And you take them to the sheller.
It's the sheller.
Okay, we don't have room here, but you pour them in the sheller. They're going to get shots of this. Put it and stick it in. Pour them in the chute. They go up the sheller, and what does the sheller do? What you say? It has a bar in there.
Yes, it has a metal bar, heavy metal bar in there, and it throws them against there, and it throws them there until they will go beneath the bar.
When they won't go beneath the bar until they get to a certain size.
That's
so.
right. That's true. And when they get there, then they go through and they separate the shell from the meat.
They separate it. They got a blower or something. What?
Yes.
A blower blows the shells outside,
Cereals go outside. The meat goes in.
and the good stuff
inside.
goes down there below Dan's feet right there.
That's true.
Okay, well they'll put those shots in there.
Okay.
Then what? This is about the 10th stage here. What do you do after you?
Then they go to the ladies to finish cleaning them.
Next door they go to the ladies and they hand clean the rest
Hand
of them.
clean them, yes.
Because no matter how well you do, there's still going to be some shells there on
There'll
them,
be some shells in there.
and you don't want the customer to get any shells.
No, you don't. They don't. They're not
They'll
happy.
not come back.
They're not happy.
Okay. Now, this is the fall of the year when you harvest.
Yes,
That's when you turn right around and sell all these nuts, right?
that's correct.
This is when everybody wants them, when they're the holidays and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all
That's
that
true.
stuff. Do you ever have any left over for the first of the year?
Sometime, but very seldom.
Yeah.
Very seldom.
Now this year was a pretty darn good year, wasn't it?
Yes.
You haven't been doing real well since the ice storm, and we're going to try to get
No.
some pictures of the ice storm on here.
3 years.
Yeah, so 3 years you haven't done real well, but this year's a bumper crop.
Yes. We got
Yeah,
a pretty good crop.
yeah.
Well, it's nothing to what we will have in time, but
In a few more years, unless you have another ice storm, you're really going to have a good.
well, we don't have one another 100 years, they say.
We're getting where we have 100-year storm every other year almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is on that.
Talk
Yeah.
to people in New York.
I want to thank you.
Okay.
I've had a good time. I hope everybody knows to come and if people come here to buy pecans and you're working here, you'll show them around, won't you?
Surely.
All right. Well, thanks again. And we may be back in the spring. I talked to Steve, and we may do a grafting show in the spring.
Okay.
Okay? I appreciate it. All right. I'll see you next spring.
Thank you.
All right.